It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Onwine.
Get up, stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Igniting Change. Oh, you know what today is, folks. All over the country, this is Election Day. Are you ready to vote? Are you ready to vote? Are you ready to vote? Let's make sure that you've gotten your vote on early or you're getting your vote on today. You know those polls will be closing this evening, so get out here and get this vote on. We are so happy to be broadcasting live from the downtown streets of Newark. Yes, we're literally in front of the city hall. Let me bring up my amazing, wonderful, brilliant. Oh, he's been doing his thing and showing us how it's done when it comes to getting out the vote in New Jersey. I am so happy to bring up one of the boldest, most amazing attorneys in America. What a leader, what a co-leader of the Transformative Justice Coalition, the chair of the board. You know what I'm talking about. Daryl D. Jones, attorney. Come on, Daryl.
Hey, Barbara, it must be Tuesday. It must be noon Eastern Standard Time because we're talking about igniting change. Barbara, let me tell you, we are out on the streets in downtown Newark with our TJC team. We got the National Coalition for Black Civic Participation that's joining us here today. We've got our signs going. We're yelling for people to vote, to get out to vote. My goodness, Barbara, it's been incredible flow of people that are coming through, the interactions that are going on wherever you are, folks. If you know someone who's in New Jersey, if you know someone who's in Virginia, if you know someone who's in Pennsylvania, and it's voting time now, contact them. Send them a text message. Send them an email. Give them a phone call. Tell them be certain to get their vote on. Barbara, this is just an exciting day that's going on here today. The sun is out. It's not too cold, so it's good voting weather. Good voting weather, Barbara.
Hey, good travel voting weather. Yes, folks, we are talking to you here from the streets of Newark. Yes, we are talking with voters, making sure people are getting their voting on. We're reminding them that they got until 8 o'clock p.m. in New Jersey to vote today. We are also very, very committed, folks, to making sure everyone knows that it's time to vote. Are you in California? You got a major initiative. You want to make sure you're voting today. Get that vote on. Don't you wait a moment. We are here with our John Lewis Good Trouble Bus. We're here with our Freedom Riders that you heard from last week. They have been all over the state of New Jersey, and we're now out here sign waving. We're talking to voters on the streets, and we're helping them to know just where to vote and to remind them that it's time, that they don't have much more time left. So this has been our day. The good news that we've been hearing is that we've been seeing is the voter turnout. But there's some seriously bad news we've been watching, right, Daryl? That we've been getting reports of
Barbara.
regarding these threats. Go ahead.
Absolutely, Barbara. We know and we have documented that there have been at least 7 counties, 7 locations, 7 polling places in New Jersey that have received bomb threats, Barbara. And again, they tend to be in primarily Democratic areas. They're primarily in areas where there's heavy black and brown populations that go to the polls to vote. So this isn't the first time we've seen this, Barbara. We saw this. We saw the trial run of this in Georgia when we just went through the Georgia election.
Tell me about that.
Head up again. It's cropping its head up again. It's going to be dealt with. We know that the Department of Justice is supposed to be out here in Passaic County, but we don't know what they're doing. We have no idea what DOJ is doing, so we've got to be certain that the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice is on the job. We know that they have manned a headquarters where they're going to be taking issues such as this, and I am confident, Barbara, that the New Jersey Institute of Social Justice is on the case and working on it, Barbara. But, yeah, that's one of the issues we've seen. And we've seen, hey, They're yelling, Barbara. They got voters. They're encountering voters.
You hear them, folks? That's what our people do. They celebrate voters. We not only urge people to vote, but we do something that's better than just a sticker. We celebrate and we yell and scream for voters. So we are so happy to see voters getting their vote on and being happy and being celebrated. So this is our thing, and so we're happy about it. So we are trying to make sure that things are going really well and that voters are being encouraged and that, that they understand that we are here nonpartisan. We're not telling anybody who to vote for. And but we still want you to go out and get your vote on for the candidate that you know you need to vote for, and to also vote on any initiatives, any amendments. It's time to do it. Folks, we're urging you, get your vote on today. This is November 4th. Yes, go ahead.
You're absolutely, Barbara. You're absolutely right, Barbara. We don't endorse candidates. We don't endorse issues. What we do endorse is protecting your right to vote, and that's why we're here, to be certain that you have the opportunity to vote, that you know that it's voting season. Because we say what, Barbara? They told us that 3 out of 5 didn't know there was an election going on. Is that right?
That was 2 weeks ago. We think we turned that around. We've been getting the word out that it's time to vote. But we also, from the encounters we've had with voters here, some people just missed it still. So it's so important for us to be in these streets reminding people that it's time to vote. Wherever you are throughout the country, we need you, as Daryl said, get on that phone right now and call all your relatives, call all your friends, call all your acquaintances. Tell them it is time to vote. Oh, yeah, they're voting in North Carolina. They're voting in Georgia. They're voting in Texas. They're voting in Missouri. There are elections for mayors everywhere around this country. There are other elections taking place. Be sure to check your voting. Is it time for you to vote in your state, in your county, in your community? Get that VOTE on. Get the vote on.
That's right.
Yes.
And Barbara, if people run into any irregularities, if you find out that they're out of ballots, that your name's not on the voting roll, or any issue you run on, wherever you are, if you're voting Annapolis, Maryland, if you're voting in New Jersey, or if you're voting in Virginia, wherever you are, if you run into a voting irregularity, call 866-OUR-VOTE. Our vote, and they can certainly help you to get that issue resolved, folks. It's important that we be certain that we're vigilant in protecting this right to vote, Barbara.
Yes, and I want to call on, I don't know if we've been joined by Anya Dillard. Anya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm right here. Here.
All right now, Larry Hamm, are you there? All right. Well, Anya, you've been traveling with us all over beautiful, beautiful New Jersey. And what do you want to tell people?
I am so fortunate to have been one of the freedom riders on the New Jersey Get Out the Vote tour with TJC. I am a TJC alum. I am also an organizer who was born and raised in New Jersey, and it has been an honor of mine to be a proponent of this work. I've learned so much about my beloved state, even though I've been so incredibly involved over the course of my life. I've been learning so much.
Yes, and we're reminding people today is the last day to vote, folks, for the November 4th elections. Don't fall for any lies. Make sure that you know that this is the day to get your vote on. It's your last day for the November 4th elections. Don't fall for any deception. There is no special voting. The voting ends today. Here in New Jersey, it ends at 8. Make sure that you are vote team. Make sure that you're ready. Let's get this on. So, Anya, in traveling across this wonderful state, what have you seen as the most important issues that people are voting regarding? What's on their minds? What have they said to you? Because you talked to those voters, and some of those voters have told you, I wasn't going to vote. And after you guys finished talking to them, they said, okay, I'm setting my alarm to go vote. So tell people what has been going on. What have you been saying to voters, and what have voters told you they're concerned about?
Well, I think that some of the main issues that voters are rallying around when it comes to, this election in New Jersey have a lot to do with our young people. People are very concerned about the fortitude of our education systems. People are very concerned about the cost of living. People are concerned about whether their children will have access to not only an equitable education, but an accurate one. We've seen over the past few years, there has been a huge attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's been a massive attack on Black and Latinx and Indigenous histories in schools across the country. And New Jersey has been a place, especially in the north, of the country, where students have been fortunate enough to be in school systems that encourage diversity, that encourage a certain level of historic education. And while there are, historically across the country, there's been a deficit in the ways that American public school systems and even private school systems choose to address matters such as slavery, such as colonization. New Jersey has been ahead of the curve in comparison with most other states. And so now what we're seeing is that more conservative ideologies are beginning to affect, that metric. And we want to make sure that a place as diverse as New Jersey continues to be able to not only celebrate the diverse cultures and histories of its citizens, but to make sure that we're, encouraging young people to be civically aware and to be have a fully contextualized understanding of what has gotten our country to this point. So I think a lot of people want to make sure that whoever, occupies that seat after this coming election, make sure that our young people are being fairly educated and that they have access to a future that's not only inclusive, but that has their best interest in mind.
Yes.
And, Anya, thank you so much because, when we start talking about the young people, we're hitting young people all across the state of New Jersey. We were just over at the Rutgers University in Newark, right? And just an exciting time with the honors program, the honors students there, talking about voting and the power of voting. Can you tell our listeners a little about what we did over at Rutgers?
Absolutely. I am a proud alumni of Rutgers University, Newark. I am also a graduate of the School of Arts and Sciences Honors College and the coveted Honors Living Learning Community, also known as the HLLC. TJC had the pleasure of going to the HLLC just a couple of days ago and talking to a group of students who are interested in becoming social justice leaders. The HLLC is known for its focus on social justice, on advocacy. It's an incubator institution within Rutgers University, Newark, that makes sure to bring together gifted groups of young people who want to be impact leaders, and regardless of their career interests or, the industries they want to go into professionally. And we were able to facilitate an incredibly illuminating conversation, talking about the importance of voting and also just sharing insights. Our group is full of young people from all over the country, and I had the privilege of being the resident New Jersey representative. But it was impactful to be able to share what we've learned over the course of this votercade with other young students who are making New Jersey their new home or who are coming from other areas of New Jersey and are choosing to pursue a higher education at Rutgers Newark. And I think that those kind of dialogues are extremely important because oftentimes we're told that young people don't care. We're told that young people are not showing up and that the voter apathy is hitting us worse than anyone else. And I've been telling other, people of older generations to stop saying that to other young people because my colleagues can all attest to the fact that we don't have any friends who are not showing up to the polls. We don't know many people who are not involved or who don't want to be involved. And while we know that those young people are out there, while we know that we're massively affected by voter apathy, it is also harmful to tell young people that their peers are being involved, because that kind of defeats the purpose of motivating people to get out and to encourage them, to let them know how powerful their vote is. Young people need to be hearing about the other young people who are on the front lines, who are involved, who are encouraging their peers to vote. And I think that the more that we continue to uplift that statistic and continue to platform young people who are out on the field, who are convincing people who feel that apathy to get out, giving them a reason to go to the polls, that's what young people who are unsure right now need to hear. That's what young people who don't really know where they stand need to be seeing. So we've been trying to encourage people of older generations to not focus so much on, especially when talking to young people, not to focus so much on who isn't showing up, and to make sure that they are platforming and elevating this idea that young people are extremely vocal in this fight, and they're the ones that are taking a lead on trying to encourage their peers to feel differently.
Wow, that's wonderful. I don't know, has Commissioner Omar Sabir joined us? Commissioner Sabir, are you here? Okay, then we will keep on. Stanley, let us know when he joins. Everybody, again, today is voting day. There are critical votes taking place in Pennsylvania for the Supreme Court. Big votes taking place for governors in Virginia and in the great state of New Jersey, where we are broadcasting live from. You have heard in today's breaking news that people are threatening polling sites in brown and black neighborhoods in New Jersey. And people have had to close 10 polling sites or relocate them across this state. Folks, that's how bad they want to stop you from using your voting power. That's how critically important and powerful your voting power is. So don't let them take it away. Don't sit on your voting power. Make sure that you use your power today to vote. If you haven't voted yet, please get your vote on. If you're listening to this show, we know that you're thinking about what's right. And you're hearing people, you're hearing our young Gen Zers out in the street, our freedom riders, and they're urging everybody to vote. And that's the interactions you're hearing with people honking their horns, people raising their fists, people talking and engaging. We're giving out buttons, placards. We're talking to people, making sure that they're voting. We're celebrating the vote. We're doing everything possible. Folks, let's do this today. Call everybody you know in every state you know, because there's voting North Carolina, Georgia, all over the place. We are here. We are grateful, and we are nonpartisan. We are nonpartisan, and we do not want people being partisan. We are nonpartisan. Brother can't hold up our sign. Yeah, he can hold up the sign. Okay. All right. We got work to do, folks. Let's get this on. Daryl?
Yeah, absolutely right. Barbara. And, folks all the time talk about, I'm not certain I'm going to vote. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. When we were in Paterson, New Jersey, we had on Thursday night, there was a torrential downpour, just an incredible downpour, with the weather just being completely inclement. And, we went to the Paterson Senior Center, and in that downpour, we had over 200 seniors that showed up to come out and rally with us on the right to vote. But they didn't stop there. This is what I call, the story of showing folks by leading by example. Because Miss Alma, who's 94 years old and on a walker, said that night that she was going to vote with us on the John Lewis Make Good Trouble vote bus. She got herself together. She walked onto the bus, went over to the voting station along with a couple of, dozens and dozens of other seniors that went up there to cast her ballot. We had a line of umbrellas to keep her dry so she could get inside the polling place. She was not going to be deterred from casting that right to vote. 94 years old, Honor Walker, folks, there are no excuses. No excuses. You made your voting plan. We need to be certain that you get out there and cast that vote. And, Barbara, I know you want to talk about the freedom songs they were singing on the bus as they were on their way to cast their vote in the torrential downpour.
It was amazing, folks. That the downpour was so bad that they had to close the Newark airport. There was flooding everywhere, and these seniors came out to celebrate the vote and to go to the polls. And we gave them rides, and on the way back, they were singing "This Little Light of Mine." They were singing, "Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around." They were celebrating. They were into the fact that it is time to vote and that they were voting on the John Lewis bus. We had a lady with us yesterday, on Sunday, when we did our Souls to the Polls, who was just blown away by everything. She said this is the best experience ever because she rode our bus to go to vote. Listen, folks, don't say that you're just going to wait until 2026. If you can vote today in your local elections and your statewide elections, you do it. Get your vote on. Don't ever let your opportunities pass. Has Commissioner Sabir joined us? We will keep going.
Hello. How is everybody doing?
Hey, Commissioner, we're so glad you're with us. The Commissioner
I'm so glad I'm with you, because you're talking about democracy, and that's what we all about here, democracy. That's what I love it.
You are our founding state. Come on now, our founding city. We love you.
That's
so,
right.
Commissioner Sabir, what's going on in Pennsylvania? What's on the ballot that everybody needs to know about? Why is this election so very important?
We have judges from the municipal court all the way up to the state Supreme Court on the ballot.
Wow.
And there are people who are spending millions, when I say millions, I mean millions of dollars to trying to get people to vote no on retention judges inside of our state. So we're calling on everybody to come on out, right? We want you to come on out. We want you to vote. We also have our district attorney, and we also have our city controller. But again, these statewide, these state Supreme Court justices are very critical because they oversee our election proceedings, education, and funding. So it's very critical that everybody don't sleep on this election. Everybody come on out and vote.
And I understand.
Commissioner, ordinarily, the courts and things like that, there's not a high draw for people to come and vote during those periods, and particularly on those positions. Can you share with our listeners why voting on these Supreme Court and the municipal court members, as well as the chief prosecutor, is important in this election?
So, right now, no legislator, it doesn't really seem like, can really get anything done. And so what's happening now is, that judges from, again, municipal court all the way up to the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court, are making decisions that impact our life every single day. And judges are playing a critical part right now. And so we need people to be involved in it. A judge can take your life. A judge can take your freedom. A judge can take your children. A judge can take your property. A judge can take your money. But a judge can also administer justice. And this is what we want. We want justice. And this is why we encourage everybody to come on out and vote like their life depended on it.
Can you, Commissioner Sabir, I have seen all over the internet confusion about the voting. Can you tell people, what the vote is about for the Supreme Court? Because people are being told one thing and another. Can you clarify for them what one vote means and what the other vote means? Can you just clarify that?
Sure. So every 10 years from common pleas court all the way to the state Supreme Court, we have the opportunity as voters to say, yes, you get to stay, or no, you got to go. So it's basically a yes or no vote. It's actually a nonpartisan process. So when you walk, judges, they give up the Republican Democratic parties when they're administering justice on the bench. So it's basically just a yes or a no vote for judges who have been serving for 10 years. So yes or no. And, they're asking you, the voter, to say yes or no on that ballot. So you can do your research. Again, there's NAACP. There's other groups, maybe a 70 here in Philadelphia, where you can get a little bit of information about judges and do your own research. I mean, you can Google search and use the Internet, but, again, not voting is not an option. 300,000 African-American women have lost their jobs, their issues with SNAP. There's issues with medical benefits. I mean, there's so many different things that are going on. And so, America, if you come out and vote at a high voter turnout, I believe that all those policies will get reversed, because they're going to say that the American people are serious now. They're paying attention to what's going on, and they're voting. So we got to make policies that's favorable to them.
And I
Barbara, that 300,000 number of African-American women that lost their job, Barbara, that was 2 months ago. It's over 314,000 now, Barbara.
Yes, and growing. And folks, and guess who's getting the jobs? And I'm just telling you, that's a fact. As black women lose jobs, white men are joining jobs. White men are taking those jobs. So this is a really ugly racial wipeout that we're watching. So that's why we got to get out here and say, no, we're going to put people in office who vote for us, who care about us, who aren't out here trying to destroy our lives. In my neighborhood, I have watched people selling their homes because they no longer have jobs. This is unacceptable. Folks, I want to talk a little bit about that Supreme Court in Pennsylvania. You might recall a number of years ago, Pennsylvania had a real bad problem with partisan gerrymandering, where people were drawing lines to keep people of certain parties in office, or to make sure that they could block folks who wanted to vote for another party. And it was a big problem because, what voters had signed up to be, what party they had registered for, wasn't reflected in the actual state legislature. It was the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania that said, no. We got to have fair gerrymandering, not partisan gerrymandering. We're bolder than the U.S. Supreme Court. We're going to tell our voters that they will have the right to elect a candidate of their choice. So that was absolutely critical, right, Commissioner Sabir?
Yeah. And in addition to that, we were sued approximately about 62%. 62 times by the former president. For President Trump. Back then, he was the former president running elections. I believe we got sued about 62 times. One of those 62
times. Yes, you
times,
sure did.
They never, they came up unsuccessful out of all those 62 times. One of those cases went up to the state Supreme Court, and they ruled in our favor. So, it's very critical, because when you're talking about elections and invalidating election results, those matters come before the state Supreme Court. So if let's just say, for example, that these three justices were not retained, the Supreme Court wouldn't be able to make decisions until 2027, to when there's new justices that come on. Because people don't understand that.
Wow.
Once those judges are out, they have to wait until the odd year. They can't get appointed. They have to wait until another out of three state Supreme Court justices. And then
say that once again. Say that once again, because that's something I have never heard before. Say that.
Right. So we will have three vacancies on our state Supreme Court for 2 years if they were not retained today. If they're not going to be retained today, then those justices would not be on the bench, and then we would hear all of our cases would go to the Commonwealth Court, and that will be the decision. So it's very critical that we have a balanced state Supreme Court. So we're calling on everyone to come on out, and we need you to vote. Now's the time, and our time is now.
That's right. And I want you to tell us, what has the turnout been like for early voting? What has the turnout been like today? Because we're midway in the day for polls here in Jersey opened at 6 o'clock. a.m. and people have been voting all day. So tell us what has it been like in Pennsylvania for the turnout?
So here in Philadelphia County, we're seeing maybe close to twice the amount of ballots have been returned from the primary. So, I mean, that's always a good sign because normally voter turnout typically goes down in the general election. So we'll see. I mean, we're very excited. As our polls are open, everyone's excited about it. And we have beautiful weather today. So,
Yes.
you know, God willing, you know, we're going to see what happens at the end of the day.
All right, and I'm going to turn now to what else do you want to say, Commissioner Sabir, to all of the voters in the country? You are one of the best, most amazing election officials we ever seen in our lives. We love you. We love the work you do. We love what you do to support voters. We love how smart and beautifully executed your voting programs are. Tell people what you want to tell voters throughout the country because they're listening from 45 cities all over this country. They're listening from 13 nations. Some of them had to do those absentee ballots from where they are. Tell people what you want them to know about today's election.
We want you to use the system. Do not sit at home. Do not be lazy. Do not fall asleep. This voting right here is the way how we can lift our voice. So let's lift our voice because too many people have sacrificed their lives so that we can have a voice. And moving forward, this voting will change the nonsense that we are seeing in this country. It will change. And if you sit at home, it can get worse, and I believe it will get worse.
My. Thank you so much, Commissioner. When do the polls close in Pennsylvania?
Polls close at 8 p.m. sharp. If you are in line by 7:59, you will be fine. It does not matter how long the line is. As long as you are in line before 8 p.m., you will be able to vote. And if you have a ballot, we have to have the completed ballot in our hands by 8 p.m. sharp. Not 8:01, not 8:02, not 8:03. We need a ballot by 8 p.m., so please bring it to one of our satellite locations, bring it to one of our Dropbox locations.
Yes.
All across Pennsylvania. Do not put that ballot in that blue mailbox. Take it to your county officials and drop it off.
All right, now, we love you, Commissioner Sabir. Oh, my God, if every city had a Commissioner Sabir, can we imagine what our democracy would look like? It would be true. Thank you, sir. We just love you. Thank you for coming on. Keep it up. Come on, Philadelphia. Come on, Pennsylvania. Let's do it. Let's
Thank
vote
you.
today.
We love you.
Thank you, sir.
That's it. Thanks so much, Commissioner Sabir. And we're going to be saying, you're going to hear that line some more. If they're in line by 7:59, they'll be fine. All right. I love it. Thanks, Commissioner.
All right now, and we are so happy to welcome another guest to our show because it is when TJC rolls, we roll with our partners. We don't just roll out here by ourselves. We are so happy that Sean Floyd of the National Black Coalition for Civic Participation is with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Attorney Omar. Thank you, Attorney Jones. Forgive me. Hey, everybody. Hey, voters. Today is the day. Show up. I'm sorry?
That's okay. I've been called much worse.
Excuse me, Attorney Jones. A little slippage with the wind out here. But we're out here talking to these voters. Hey, everybody, thank you for having me on the show.
Yes. So, Sean, why of all, I know that you have people in Virginia. Why did you come up to New Jersey?
Because this election is too important not to participate in. The National Coalition, led by our fearless leader, Melanie Campbell, our president and CEO and convener of the Black Women's Roundtable, is a firm proponent in coalition building and showing up in the places that it matters when it comes to black civic participation. And New Jersey and Virginia are two of our most critical places right now when it comes to our state leadership, when it comes to our city leadership, and when it comes to turning out the black vote.
All right now, and I believe
and,
we've
Sean,
also, Daryl, I believe
Sean,
we've also been joined by another guest, Attorney Philip Thompson. Are you with us?
I am listening in.
All right, yay! Attorney Philip Thompson, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here from the mighty state of Virginia. All right, we are so glad that you are with us. Tell us, how is it going in Virginia today? Here in New Jersey, they have a high voter turnout from every polling precinct we've gone to. In fact, the one precinct we left about an hour ago, they actually had more people vote this morning than normally vote the entire day. So that is showing you what's going on in New Jersey. How's it going in Virginia?
First off, thank you for having me today. For early voting, we cast 1.448 million votes in early voting in the Commonwealth. That was up from 1.194. So about 300,000 more early votes. That will attest to the enthusiasm that people have for getting out and letting their voices heard. I'm hearing today that people are coming out and study streams. I live in the Northern Virginia area, and Northern Virginia is key to a Democratic victory. And the people in Northern Virginia.
We're not partisan. Go ahead.
Well, they're going to be key to whoever wins this race. How can we say that? And so, they've been impacted by a lot of things coming out of Washington, D.C. For a lot of people, this is an opportunity to voice their opinion by their vote, and they're taking that stance. The NAACP, the state NAACP, is out in force trying to ensure that people are able to vote. They filed a lawsuit yesterday against the Commonwealth for them treating our college students different than other kids, and a lot of this was occurring at the HBCUs where they were not allowing these kids to register because of their address being in dorms, and so that's being litigated today to hopefully make sure that those kids, if you are a college student or anybody and you run into an issue at the polls, you are still allowed to vote. You can file a provisional vote. Go vote.
Right.
And we'll fight that issue later on. But get your vote in. Don't let these people make have you leave. I worked a couple elections ago down at Norfolk State University, and there were some issues with the kids, but we made sure all of those young people voted, and we fight the issue later. So make sure, do not let, if you go to a poll and there's an issue with your ID or anything, ask for a provisional ballot to get your vote registered, and then we will fight the battle in court or wherever we have to fight it to ensure that your vote is counted. I don't think this is going to be a close election, but every vote counts, and everybody needs to go out and vote. And just to stay off the partisan side, the voter turnout, the high voter turnout was all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. So the high early vote turnout was all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. But again, Northern Virginia is going to be the key to victory for whoever wins this race because of the number of people. And I think the people in Northern Virginia are angry at what they're seeing coming out of Washington, the direct impact.
Yes, it's been evil.
People like my wife. My wife is sitting at home now. She's a federal worker, and she's sitting at home. And don't worry, we're good. But a lot of people are not in our position. A lot of people
not at all.
They don't have the resources to withstand this. My son works at the airport, and those poor TSA workers, they're going to work every day without getting paid. So we have to be sure that we get out and vote. This is our only opportunity to tell people how you feel about what's going on in this country.
And Attorney
Thompson, are you hearing a lot of people that are coming out there in Virginia that are actually talking about the fact that they were a victim of DOGE, or they're a victim of the shutdown, or they're, particularly at this particular time of the season, right? Because we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. Are you hearing that from the folks that are going to vote?
Yes, because we're getting a double whammy in Virginia. So Virginia is the home of a lot of contractors, people that work contract. People need to understand. Besides the federal workers, the contractors are also losing contracts, and so they're laying off a number of people, and unemployment has gone up in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And again, the impact is felt astutely in Northern Virginia. So you're seeing people that are been impacted by this. We're working with people to make sure information on where people can get food and services are out there. There's a lot of food drives going on. There's a lot of pantries coming up. This is just a real tough time, and we shouldn't be here right now. And I think this frustration is going to show in the polls. I think it's going to be a wipeout, but I won't say which way. But I think it's going to be a wipeout.
We see that. So tell us one thing you mentioned, and I want my listeners, Daryl, we want our listeners from all over the country to hear that you talked about same-day voter registration. It's now a reality in Virginia. It's a provisional ballot, right? But still,
yes, it is.
You can same-day register, right?
Yes. You can same-day register.
And that's so important. Very few states have what we call EDR, election day registration, or same-day registration, but it makes a difference. It is so important for other states to consider it. Even New Jersey doesn't have it. So it's something important. It makes a big difference because we run into so many people who we've helped to register since we've been here, but we got here after voter registration day, so they were registering for the future, not for this election. Folks, we need EDR, SDR in every single state. So with that said, Attorney Thompson, what else do you want our voters to know about voting today? What do you have to say to them about Virginia? What do you have to say to them across the nation where they are voting today?
What I'm going to say personally is walk, run, ride a bike, drive a car, get on a bus, get on a train, hitchhike, do whatever you got to do to go vote. I mean, I just came back from a trip in Mississippi. It was down in Memphis and went to the National Civil Rights Museum, and I think every black person, American white person, should go to that museum and see the struggle that people had to go out and vote, the things that had to be done to ensure people's vote. We have a saying that if you're not sitting at the table, you're going to be on the menu. Right now, there's a lot of people on the menu because they didn't go sit at the table. So the first part of the table is the vote. We need to vote, and then when you vote, you need to make sure you come and participate in democracy, whether it's school board meetings, whether it's town council meetings, whether it's legislative sessions, and keep these politicians honest, because when they think they can work underneath the cloak of non-transparency, they will not. They will go where the money tells them to go, not where the voters tell them to go. So you have to participate even after you vote. So it's very important that you participate in the process. Voting is the first step, but the second step is participate in these hearings. Let your representatives know how you feel, because again, we send too many people into state houses, into the Congress, and never follow up. And then we complain that this didn't get done or that didn't get done. But if you show up, if you got 300 or 400 African Americans at a hearing on a piece of legislation, you know those people are going to pay attention to what you're saying. You can't just sit on the sidelines and hope and pray and think just because you pull the lever you're going to get represented. That ain't how this works.
Amen. Thank you for that. I want to thank you for being on our show, for bringing such a powerful message. How do people get in touch with you? Because somebody heard you and said, oh, that's a powerful brother. I want to be in touch with him. How do they do that?
I am on LinkedIn, Philip T. Thompson. You can find me on LinkedIn. I was the president of the National Black Nonpartisan Redistricting Organization. My company, Diversity Engagement, has been doing political work. I'm a public speaker. And besides that, I'm a lawyer, and I represent a number of clients that are having do employment law, federal employment law. So I represent a number of employees out there who are having issues with their federal employment issues. And if you got a question, come on LinkedIn, contact me, and we'll see what we can do to try to help you get through this crisis that's occurring now. A lot of people got misinformation, took the buyouts, and now they're sitting there without a job and without their retirement and without any recourse to go back, because once you sign that paper, you give up rights. And I've got cases right now where people are, bonuses were not paid, and they signed that paper and gave up their rights without talking to an attorney because they were scared, and that's unfortunate. And we tried to do seminars prior to try to get people to make sure they had legal representation before they sign these documents.
Thank you so much. You're doing amazing work. We're so grateful to you and everybody who's out there on the front line. Let me give some love out there to every voting rights advocate who is out there trying to make sure that people vote today. Thank you so much for turning out.
Thank you for your work. We need more people like you out here on this radio and out here in media, pushing people to do the things that they sometimes won't do without some sort of extra foot, shall we say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. We want to verify if New Jersey Assemblywoman Verlina Reynolds-Jackson has joined us.
Yes, ma'am. I am here.
All right now. We are so glad you are here. So we want to thank you so much. It's the first time you've ever been on the show. You and Tom and Attorney Thompson, all these first-timers. We're so glad and grateful for you. We want our listeners to be reminded that we are halfway through the voting day. Folks, make sure you get your voting on. If you got any issues, any problems, call 1-866-OUR-VOTE, 1-866-687-8683. Do that thing. All right, now, Assemblywoman, how have things been going for the voters in New Jersey today?
Well, first of all, let me just thank you for having me on this show today. If you haven't seen it, God has already showed up with this beautiful, sunny, brisk, cool, windy day, but it's not raining, and so I feel like we're celebrating democracy in action. And I've been all over my town right now. I'm in Trenton, and so I've been to a couple of the polling places, and the spirit is alive and well. Unfortunately, my phone started ringing at 6 a.m. this morning, and as you talked about earlier on your show about the challenges from, thank God, non-credible bomb threats, you said 10. I started off, it was 7 and 7 counties, but so far all the places have been secured by law enforcement.
That's right.
They've been reopened, and people are casting their ballots. I mean, these community rooms, these schools, they are buzzing. And I was on listening earlier, and, the numbers are high. And in some places, I'm like, I don't care if nobody else don't come in today. We done set a new goal at 10 a.m. this morning. I'm like, oh, my God.
I know. It's been amazing.
Won't we do it? Honey, won't we do it?
Yes, Assemblywoman. Yes. Sean, when you hear Assemblywoman talking about this day today for you, sir, because you've been involved in New Jersey politics before. What does this say to you, sir?
I think, like the Assemblywoman said, when the sun comes out, the people come out. And that's clearly what's showing up today, and we are happy to have the sun out. Look, I think New Jersey politics, as we all know, is different than anywhere else in the country, right? Yeah. But I applaud everyone who's been showing up and showing out in this critical election because, like Attorney Thompson before us said, these local elections are more powerful now than they've ever been. We know that our federal government is not serving our people right, and it is our state leaders and our local leaders and our municipalities and our state capitals who are going to be the ones to step in and help fill that gap. And it's people like Assemblywoman who are leading this charge and fighting the good fight, and we thank her very much for all her efforts and the people of New Jersey for showing up and showing out.
All right now. And Assemblywoman Reynolds-Jackson, wow, so much is going on. Can you tell us, based on what you've been seeing, what is on the ballot today? What are people voting for? Who are they voting for? And what are the issues that your voters are telling you they are concerned about?
And listen, New Jersey is different than a lot of other states. Our governor is one of the most powerful governors in the country because we don't elect judges. Our judges are appointed with the advice and consent of the Senate. So we different. Yeah. So let's think about this. We're talking about protecting the voting rights. We're trying to get the New Jersey Voting Rights Act passed so that we don't have to have these voter suppression laws. We want to be able to say, you just come in. You don't have to show your ID. We don't want to go to jail for giving somebody some water. So when you ask me the question, what is on the ballot, freedom. Access to freedom is on the ballot today. We're talking about access to food. Who would thought that we're talking about food access for our children? So when we say food programs, the breakfast, the lunch, and maybe the snack that they go home with, these are all important things. We're talking about putting food on people's tables. Poverty is on the ballot. We're talking about what's on the ballot, housing affordability. When you raise a family and you do all the right things, you send them to trade schools or you send them to college, they get degrees, they get certifications, they start their own businesses, but then they get hit with a $500,000 home. That's ridiculous. We need housing that is affordable to all. And maybe it's not my first time home. Maybe I want to buy a second time home. And God forbid I have the audacity to want a retirement home. I should be able to afford that. We need to be checking these banks to make sure that they are lending to everyone equally and fairly. So equity is on the ballot today. We're talking about New Jersey education, where we mostly segregated. We want to make sure that we continue to push to make sure that every child has access to a quality education. So what's on the line? We're talking about protecting our family legacy, the past and the future. This ballot today is all about us. It's about making sure we represent who's going to be our next governor, who's in the state legislature, our municipalities, our counties, and our school boards. These are the people who are going to be showing up, who's going to say, if we get school funding, can I get a new school in my area? Am I going to get a new housing development, a new senior development? What type of new revenue is going to come in so we can keep those taxes down? Every name on the ballot is important today. Families are on the ballot. Show up and show out unapologetically.
Daryl, she just said it all. Come on, Daryl. What you got to add?
Barbara, I think that the Assemblywoman Reynolds-Jackson has laid it out so clearly. If people don't get it from what she said, you ain't going to get it. But if you need any more help getting it, I'm sure that she has a website that you can go to get more information in that regard. But, folks, wherever you are, if you're in one of those voting locations in New Jersey, Virginia, Annapolis, Maryland, or wherever else it may be in the country where we're having an election, this is the time for you to make your way now to the voting booth to be able to cast your vote for the candidate and the interest of your choosing, because this is that time. This is that time now, right now, Barbara, where we've got to protect democracy, and democracy is on the ballot every place across this country. Assemblywoman, if people want to get in contact with you, how do they reach you?
They can reach me on LinkedIn. My name is Verlina, last name Reynolds like Reynolds rap, and Jackson like Michael Jackson.
All right.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, social media. You can check me out at ASW. Reynolds-Jackson.com is my website. And if anyone needs a ride, please give me a call at 609-414-1013. If you are in Mercer County and you need a ride, you give us a call and we'll come and get you, pick you up, and take you back home too.
I love it. Repeat that number for the ride.
The ride for Mercer County is 609-414-1013.
Wonderful. Assemblywoman, we haven't met you, but we love you. Just thank you for your leadership.
I see you all. Don't act like we ain't family now when I see you.
All right now. Don't worry about that. I'm a hugger.
We're going to have you back on. We're going to have you back on for a post-election show, so please have your phone ready. Don't block us. Don't block us.
I will. I'll show up. Have a blessed day. Right. I see you at the victory line.
All right now.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Sean, how do people get in touch with you and the mighty NCBCP?
You can reach out to NCBCP at ncbcp.org, and you can find me on LinkedIn as well at Sean A. Floyd. That's SeanAFLOYD.
Wow, Daryl, what a day. Daryl, what a day. It's time for you to take us home. But before you take us home, remember, everybody, if you have any issues, you want to know where your polling place is, you can go to vote.org. If you're trying to get help because you're having a problem at the polls, they say they can't find you or whatever's wrong with the books, you can go to 866. Call 866 our vote. 866 our vote. Make sure you call now. Make sure that you don't wait till the last minute. Go vote, people. Go vote, people. You still got some hours. Let's get this voting on. It's important. Daryl, take us home.
Great thanks to Assemblywoman Reynolds-Jackson for being with us today. Great thanks to Sean from the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. Thank you to Anya Dillard for being with us today, and thank you to all of our guests that have been with us today. Folks, as we like to say, and I'll say it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it again, this is the day to get off the sidewalk, get into the street, and to get into some good trouble in the election cycle. Folks, we want to thank all of our sponsors that have been on this New Jersey Get Out the Vote trip, the People's Organization for Progress, the League of Women Voters, the National Coalition for Black Civic Participation, the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice, the Concerned Black Men, as well as One Giant Leap Action. Black Voters Matter, the NAACP State Conference, and SEIU, and our new funding, loving partner, the American Federation of Teachers. Folks, until next Tuesday, noon, Eastern Standard Time, peace, everybody.
Peace and love. Vote.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Urban One Incorporated, Radio One, or any of its subsidiary companies.
The preceding program was paid for by Barbara Arnwine.